Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of What Yacht To Do. We spent a wonderful night here and experienced the great Georgia tides, plus or minus 8 feet. Of course, it's also a full moon. We swung around. The captain never really sleeps doing an anchoring because there's just that feeling that, hey, what's going on with the anchor alarm? So I was up at 2. I did sleep until 2, and I knew 2 o'clock we were probably going to swing around, and I came up here and looked and got myself oriented and said, yes, indeed, we are now pointing directly south, and that's the way we were pointing when we got into the anchorage. At 2 o'clock in the morning, we were pointing directly north, so we had swung around completely. Anchor did not drag at all, so quick check and back to bed. Today we're going to weigh anchor here. It's just before sunrise. We had some storms go through about 4 o'clock in the morning, and luckily they went just north of us, so we lucked out on that. We were at the very southern edge of them, got a little bit of sprinkling on the boat, but nothing much more than that. And today the weather forecast looks good, except for, you know, possibility of afternoon thunderstorms, so that's why we're moving early and get to our anchorage, which is one that's called Wally's Leg. That's what we're going to aim for, Wally's Leg. It's up to the north of St. Simon Island, so we're going to go check that out. Anchor, get in there early, and take a little bit of a break. Yesterday was a long journey, 72 miles. This one's only going to be about 45 miles. So I'm ready, Rev's ready, let's go.
We're leaving Cumberland Island, anchorage. This had a lot of good reviews, and now we know why.
So we're mile about 708 or so, going northbound on the Intracoastal Waterway, and red is on the right because now we're going up a river, so you got to watch that. Normally, as you're doing the loop on the Intracoastal, the red will be on the shore side. But this is a river inlet, so red right returning takes precedence. Over on the port side, you can see the Kings Bay Naval Station, big submarine base, and little contraption that they have there. I'm told, and I hope I can talk about this, is a degosser. So as the submarines go through there, they get their magnetic field corrected somehow. I don't know. Many of you will probably know more about that than me, and I know a little bit about it, and I hesitate to talk about it. So other than that, that's all I'm going to say. Up here on the further side of that is a security zone. This entire area is a security zone, but if you did try to go into there where the boats are, I'm sure you'd be escorted out and probably interviewed quite extensively as to why you were in there. So I've just been kind of looking out there to see if I see a periscope surfacing and looking at us. That would be bad. But there is a security boat out there, as we had thought, and so we are steady as she goes, as they say in the Navy. We are just going to maintain our course here, stay in the channel, no sudden moves. Okay, so we made it through that, and at that turn there, as we turn to starboard, we go back to the normal intracoastal markings with leaving the red on the port side, so we've corrected our thought process and also our little reminder that we have up here in case I have to go somewhere. Rev knows which side we're supposed to be on, and out there I've got a red and a green. So navigating visually, the charts are a backup, and away we go. What you're seeing here is a rear range light. It's part of a system. There's a forward and there's a rear, and the ships will line those up so that they know the course that they're coming in on the channel. Not only the ships, but the submarines, I'm sure, use it as well.
We're coming up on Red 64. At the top, I hope you can see it, it's a tiny gold triangle, and that tiny gold triangle on the giant triangle red means you're in the intracoastal. So that's a little sign. If you think you're in the intracoastal and you don't see that triangle, then that's bad. Oh, dolphins are active this morning on the ICW. We're here in South Florida. I'm so sorry. We are here in South Georgia. Seen a few of them.
So we are in the grasslands of Georgia, and what I consider is like, okay, a lot of twisty turns, a lot of grass, and staying between the sticks is a big challenge. One of the things that you'll need to probably get comfortable with is looking at these various inlets and sounds and seeing, having an understanding of how the water flows, because we're going to be coming up on St. Andrew's Sound, and of course the tide is rushing in from the ocean, and so we'll find these inlets and sounds, to come in. And at some point while we were getting a push back there from the previous inlet and sound, now we're coming up on another one that's a bigger one, and the water's coming in, and it's coming in this way. So we went through a period of where, okay, it looked like the RPM was normal, it was kind of slack in there as they were both meeting, and now we're going into that current, so we're having to use a little bit more RPM to maintain the same speed. So you'll get to understand all that stuff as you actually experience it. But look at those charts and see what it's going to do. And then going across the sounds in Georgia, the next trip that we take is going to be a little more trickier. So we're going to really want to time that well for those inlets and those challenging areas that are out there. So tides in Georgia, 8 feet, you can count on it, and really timing it and understanding how the water flows and what it's going to do to your boat and your anchoring and all that is very important in this particular area. Some people elect to, hey, I'm not going to deal with it, I'm going to go offshore and cut it all out, and yeah, we could have probably done that, but with the weather kind of back and forth the way it is, I think it's better to stay close here because there's plenty of places to anchor in case things turn south. So that's something you have to weigh for your loop, your way, and your particular boat, your experience, and what your crew's wishes are. So weigh all those things together, and it's a constant evaluation of all that. So it is about high tide, and that's kind of what we want to be, particularly going to the Jekyll Island area, which is kind of a sketchy area. We are at the St. Andrew's Sound and making our way around that course. So plenty deep out here, 52 feet, high tide, really not much to worry about at all.
Well, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, so we'll be kind of going up around that way and heading up to our anchorage. Gonna make it a short day and get some rest in and plan for the next one, which will be one of the trickier parts of the loop. All right, we're good now. We have been following this boat, and he's been taking a little bit different track than us, and all of a sudden this boat goes into a circle, and I called him. He does a circle, and of course we're closing in on him, and I'm thinking, what happened? What's going through my mind is, man overboard, I don't know. I call him on the radio, no answer. Call him on the radio, no answer. And then he does another circle. Well, but at that time, I'm getting real close to him. So he finally answers. And I ask him, hey, are you okay? And he goes, oh yeah, I'm just calibrating my compass. Okay, so I asked him, do you need me to back off? He said, no. Well, I did need to back off. I came to full stop to let him complete his second turn. And the sad thing is that he's got AIS. I can see him, he can see me. So if you're going to calibrate a compass, make sure you're going to watch out for folks. And also,
Marina, this is
what I know about calibrating a compass and doing a sea trial and a sea wizard, particularly on this boat, may be different on his, is that you have to have a certain sea state, and I would not use this particular sea state as a way to calibrate anything. May calibrate the compass, it's not going to do much for you if you're bobbing around. Anyway, expect the unexpected. Keep your eyes out there.
We are coming up on Jekyll Island. Got a marina right here on the right hand side. We're going under a bridge. A lot of loopers stay here.
And you really want to watch your speed going through here because the docks are real close to it. So
very close.
We're idle, bare steerage.
Several boats are anchoring and are anchored in this area. But if you like the marina life, you can stay here.
Here's to us, here's to us. This is Cygnus.
Oh, right over here.
Cygnus, go ahead.
Sir, big fans, Rev and Sam.
Oh, thank you.
How about Texas?
All right, well, have a happy Easter.
It's for you too.
As I was saying, a lot of loopers stay here.
Yeah, we were thinking about maybe seeing if we could tie up here for an hour or two and go in and have brunch, but you know, thinking about the tide and our plans here, and who knows what happens if you do that. And we may take somebody else's space too. It is Easter, so I couldn't get a hold of him on the phone. I was going to surprise Rev.
Aw.
If we could have gotten them on the phone and figured out, hey, we could stay there for 2 hours and the restaurant was open. That was the other thing. We didn't know if the restaurant was open, so. Anyway.
Beautiful. Nice going, Sam. Getting us through there nice and easy.
All right, nice and easy through there, guys. People on boats, floating dock. Take it easy. Enjoy the journey. So this area in here, you want to take it slow. It's known for shoaling. I think they've dredged it out. We're showing 15 feet in here. Of course, it is high tide, right after high tide. So let's subtract, then you'd be at around 10 feet probably, or lower, 9 feet, depending on the tide. But we're doing good right now.
We see up ahead a giant ship. It's red, white, blue, gray, and it came in through the St. Simon's Inlet and is heading, I don't know, maybe under that bridge. There's a very cool looking bridge over there.
For the Brunswick area, I guess. Who knows where it's going? Somebody probably knows where that ship is going.
It is so big, it doesn't even look real. It's what I imagine, you're sitting around and all of a sudden you see an alien spaceship in the sky. That's kind of what this seems like. It's just so big. It was in this area that another big ship had some trouble. It was hauling cars, and the weight, there was some weight issues, and the boat just went down.
Tipped over.
With all those cars, and it tipped over, yeah. So, interesting area here. heading north over to St. Simon's Island.
And that is the Hawaiian Highway. It is 199 meters long and 38 meters wide, and it draws 30 feet.
Wow.
And it is traveling at 11.3 miles per hour. It doesn't look like it's going that fast.
Boat is called
Yeah.
Hawaiian? Huh.
That's exactly right.
All right, it's time for Sam to take his readings, so we'll talk to you later. You can see the water is just nuts. It's like we're on the river seeing all the eddies. Sam said this is the tide going out. So he's on, look at him steering.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So the high tide was just a while ago, about an hour ago, and so now the water's rushing back out into the ocean, and you can kind of see some eddies here as it goes along and hits the fender boards, restrictions in the flow of water. So take it easy going through there, and you'll be just fine.
Well, if they go through here when this is happening.
Yeah. Well, we are anchored here at Wally's Leg, mile 666. Ooh, 666. On the ICW, just a short trip off of here, and it is just wonderful. We have a little bit of current. This area here at 9 feet, and it's dropping a little bit. So I expect it's probably going to go down to about 6 feet, and then the tide will start coming back in again. So we are set here. Early happy hour, and time to study the next area that we're going to go through to make sure that we can time those challenging areas at the right time. So see you next time on What Yacht To Do.